when the ego is present, love is on the back burner because winning is now the focus instead of solving the issue together. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer me and you versus the problem. It is now me versus you. And if I win, we both lose.
Roll me, Mac.
How important is it to you for a significant other to remember special occasions? To be honest, I forget shit. So, not only that, I value the time spent on not necessarily the date. If we just so happen to remember it, the fact that it happened, I believe, is more important to me. As far as like them forgetting something, I'm not losing sleep about it. I'm not about to throw a tantrum because you forgot a date. It's not that to me. That shit is not. There's bigger fish to fry or bake. In my case, trying to be healthy and shit. But like I don't care about that shit. To be honest, not to say that like I said, it's the moment is more significant to me than the actual date. And if we can recount what happened, great, cool. If I'm the only one that remembers what happened, great, cool. I mean, like, it happened. You can't change the shit. Ain't nothing you can do about it, baby. It happened, and that's what it is. But yeah, it's not that important to me. Yeah, remembering a date to me is not that big of a deal. Not at all. I think more, like I said, there's more important things to a relationship. Any form of relationship for that matter, man. Like, it's to me, I believe being feeling seen, heard, and loved is more significant in any relationship than remembering dates. That's satisfying my ego in a way. To me, that's how I see it. That's like, oh, I remembered the dates and you didn't. It's not a competition. You know what I mean? It's not a competition for me. And when a relationship turns into, well, I did this and you didn't, then the ego is driving the ship or the car or plane. They're commanding the ship, they're flying the plane, and they're driving the car. And when the ego is present, love is on the back burner because winning is now the focus instead of solving the issue together. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer me and you versus the problem. It is now me versus you. And if I win, we both lose. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things about the ego games, like the loser wins. You know what I'm saying? Whoever can lose their ego the fastest tends to win in relationships. But there's that victory. That victory of feeling like you're right is very tempting. Very tempting. It's like being on a diet and you know that you're not supposed to have that bag of gummies. You know you're not supposed to have them gummy frogs. You know what I'm saying? But that dopamine, man, that dopamine rush of just being right, having those gummies, you're having them Haribo gummy frogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you get a taste, you like that victory, man. Victory is a temporary high. You know what I mean? And but like, when it comes to a significant other, all that shit gotta roll. It's pressure trying to manage said ego when you're battling shit from childhood, feeling like you weren't enough, feeling like you gotta prove yourself and all of this shit. And here you are with somebody who literally triggers the fuck out of you from your childhood somehow, some way. And like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna beat my childhood. You know what I mean? It's one way of looking at it. But in the present moment, none of that shit matters, man. Like, truly, it's just about being in the moment with that individual. That's really it. That's really all that matters. It can go, I mean, one of you can go that night, go that day, what would it matter to win that battle? You gonna be at the funeral, so I won that shit. I beat your ass. Fuck does it matter? It really doesn't, man. And we can get caught up. We all do. We all get caught up in that shit. I'm trying to remember. I remember that. I remember my inner child leading a lot of relationships, especially with the women that mirrored the shit out of my mother for me, and that's commonly how it goes. Somebody that we're dating mirrors something of our childhood and trying to, prove that you're right. The typical battles of the mind. It's you versus you yesterday, really. But like that significant other, being there is really all that matters, man. Like, do I feel valued in this shit? Does this person really value me? And if not, then I have to ask myself, why don't I value myself enough to leave? And that's a whole nother ball game, whole nother question to ask oneself. Why would I stay in something that doesn't make that I don't feel seen, heard, and loved in? Says a lot about what I feel about myself. But dates, I don't give a fuck. It's not that big of a deal for me. It's having I think the better value is having that significant other. There are other things we got going on. Yeah, it's great if we can like remember shit. I've worked a lot at, I always say, photographic memory of seeing things, so I can recount a lot of things, like snapshots of the mind, or even like video in my head of when a particular thing happened. I may not have a specific date, but I'm able to run down just enough for us to go over a memory together. I think I'm pretty solid at that, and videos and pictures help too. But significant other, remembering dates, it's not that. To me, there's, like I said, everything's small from space. As I say all the time on here, and you look at things from space and look down, this shit looks very, very small. So I just try not to allow my ego to get me caught up in feeling like I'm not enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's truly all that shit is. Feeling like you weren't enough. I'm not good enough for you to remember and play victim. You know what I'm saying? Victim mindset that some of us bank on all the time to make ourselves look like a victim, so that we can get attention. It's attention or love-seeking behavior. You know what I'm saying? Learning to look at attention-seeking behavior as such as love-seeking behavior. And some just want to be loved just to feel like okay. Like you top it off. They just want to be full. And then you got some motherfuckers that want to feel like over the top. They want you to love them more than you love you, type thing. And those are your manipulators. And they'll reveal themselves to you. They will. Over time, they'll show you that you don't matter. You're not valued. Only thing that matters is me being on top. That's what she said. And I mean, this is how it goes. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. You're able to see it. When once somebody shows you who they are, believe them. You know what I mean? Not the potential version of them in your mind. Believe them for what they're showing you right then and there, and you decide if that's what you want to stay in. And we went round and round with this topic, but we're bringing it back. So, significant other. Is it important for them to remember dates? Not for me.
Hey, what up, everybody? Yeah, do me a favor real quick. Just hit like, subscribe, and of course comment if you have anything, obviously to mention about the show.
How do you feel when you see younger people out in the nightlife at your age? I immediately see myself at what I believe their age is. And I asked myself, what was I doing? What was I thinking at the time? Like I thought that life looks so much different when you're 21. You have a certain view. You feel like you have so much ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can drink now. I can do these things. I'm 21. I'm not my mama's little boy anymore. You know, I'm grown. I'm out here and fucking old ladies and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like 20 years, like my mom's age and whatnot. TMI, I know. But, you know, some of us got our different goals in life. Toxic ass goals based off of toxic ass upbringing. But goals nevertheless. And I just remember looking like, man, there's so much that I can do. I'm looking at more of the freedom of it. You know what I'm saying? And not realizing that I am chasing my childhood right now, trying to prove something versus just living. Like, it's just really was about trying to prove that I can do it on my own. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need anybody's help. I can do it all, you know, it's just me. And not letting anybody in. That too, that part there, which is definitely big in trauma. It's a trauma response. But 21 years old, what was I? I was in an on and off relationship with a young lady in the Air Force. And puppy love, man. Punch drunk. And what I thought was a form of love. You know what I'm saying? And I was chasing childhood. Literally, I was trying to prove that I was worthy of love. So I was willing to do all I saw on like TVs and movies that guys chasing women do, and they end up getting a girl in the end type shit. But so I look at myself when I see them, and I see like where I was. For instance, that whole scenario that's just explained. But I see the difference is the music. Like, the music has changed tremendously. Like, tremendously, as far as what we deem rap to be, and now what we're deeming country to be, you know, no pun intended. And then like just music all around, you know. Hip hop is infused in everything. I'm a very big fan of hip hop. I don't want hip hop in every fucking thing though. You know what I'm saying? I don't like Florida Georgia Line with the hip hop shit. I don't want hip hop in every fucking thing. It doesn't work for everybody. Some aspects of rock, Gorillaz, Rage Against the Machine, Linkin Park, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of them cats, they can infuse hip hop with rock in a way that works. But damn it, everything don't need to be for hip hop. And why do rappers sound like singers is another. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. I just believe that their music, the focus on the music is the vibe. Everything's about the vibe. You know, not so much lyrically based. So like seeing them out, it's about that. That's what they feel. Like, you're not gonna see them in a huddle just rapping off lyrics. It's about the vibe, you know what I'm saying? I mean, which is okay for them to feel good, but I just feel like the time, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a time where music was more lyrically based. You feel me? My rappers were about their lyrics. My singers were about their lyrics. Hell, my pop and rock, you know what I'm saying? It was about their lyrics. And things have just changed. That's just my perspective on it. And not to sound like the old guy, that's pretty much what I am now, looking at these 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, like whenever you step out. And I mean, the beauty of it, in the end, they're enjoying themselves, right? Like, I remember being 21, 22, and not having but so many cares in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kid was still a toddler. I mean, stressed about like how the fuck were you gonna provide, because that's all I knew. And the Air Force life and all of that. But when I see them out I see them, like I said, I just see them enjoying themselves, man. Like really just having, most of them having just a great time. A friend of mine's girlfriend's little brother, he get it in. You know what I'm saying? He gets it in, bro. And he's like, early 20s. And it's a joy to watch him with his friends and not having like, it doesn't seem, I'm pretty sure you got things on your mind, but when they're out, they enjoy themselves, man. Like it's just a joy that you can appreciate. Not allowing anything that's going on within life to stop this particular moment that we're having. We're with our friends. We're living in the present moment where we're playing drinking games. We're just taking part in what's happening around us. Not stressing, not thinking about nothing, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to be out here this damn late. That's another thing, getting older. There was a time, like, especially like in Miami, our clubs don't close until 5, some 6. You're not getting ready until like 11. When I tell you that when 12 o'clock hits and I'm like out or whatever, damn, I'm fucking tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I know I'm getting somewhat older. I don't have this desire, this goal of seeing how late I can stay up. I'm ready to get in the fucking bed. Put the fan on, the box fan, close the door, play rain sounds, knock the fuck out, put on that CPAP. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. I'm out cold. But I mean, it's like it's cool to see time moves so fast, man. Like, remember being 21, now having a kid who's approaching 21, and I had a kid fairly young, but like, damn, man, time really does fly, man. Like, time just can go the fuck by. And what most people regret, as Les Brown talks about, people don't regret the things that they did. People tend, on their deathbed, they tend to regret the things that they didn't do. So it's like using that opportunity, like a present moment, to conquer whatever goals that you want to do. And so when I see a 21-year-old, I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm hoping they're taking advantage of everything. They're not holding back. They're not allowing somebody else to limit them. They're just going through with it. They're going to go ahead and be whatever it is they're going to be in this world, and not allow somebody to make them have to make themselves feel small so that other people can feel big. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Just love seeing the youth enjoy themselves, man. And it's like realizing, like, fuck, you can look them in the face and be like, damn, you ain't but 20. You ain't but 21, 22, just looking at the, young folks, man, and just thinking that you had it all figured out at that age and laughing at yourself. Now, when we approaching 40 and laughing at yourself, thinking, man, I thought I had everything figured out then, and boy, was I not prepared for what was to come within the 20s. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even for some of the early 30s. But nothing like the present moment. Present moment brings about so much lessons for me, others that pay attention, and it's a privilege to reach the age, wherever age you're at right now, to look back on the lessons that came from all the decisions that you made. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was a good decision or bad decision, it's all perspective in your mind, looking back what happened. But all in all, whatever decision you made you where you are right now. So it's like accepting that and moving forward, trying to make the best decisions for yourself. But looking at the young folk, the young Thundercats out there, you know what I'm saying, when I'm in a nightlife, I'm thinking, I'm tired of shit and I'm ready to go to bed. All right, real quick. What keeps the fire in relationships? polarity. Polarity is very key. You must have polarity, and that's how that's how we get balance. You know, like the masculine energy and the feminine energy. We both, men and women, possess that, but obviously things operate much better when we as men are operating predominantly in our masculine energy, and women are able and feel safe enough to operate. That's very key too. Feel safe enough to operate in their feminine energy, but doesn't always go as planned, and so we see things operate as they do. You'll see men in their feminine energy, and you'll see women operating predominantly in their masculine energy, and then wondering why there's so much friction and conflict in the home. It's because it's resentment. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you're doing things that you really don't want to do. It's a passive way. I think a passive aggressive way of dealing with things. Not to say that you're not going to go through things with even the opposite, like being in your masculine as a man and a woman being in her feminine. But it's all about how you manage that. That's the beauty of like being of operating in your masculine, is the ability to manage emotions. And a man in his masculine is able to essentially calm the storm that is the woman, you know, when she's operating in her feminine energy. And it's just a matter of allowing a woman to feel safe, right? And women counter that as well by allowing us to feel safe by trusting that masculine energy. And no man wants to go through the woman challenge him all the fucking time on a decision that he made. That shit gets old real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't trust me to lead, you're gonna want to fuck somebody like that. You know what I mean? So as far as like that fire goes, you want to allow a man to feel like a man, and you want to allow a woman to feel like a woman. In order for a woman to feel like a woman, we have to be operating in her fucking masculine. We have to work hard. We have to work hard at being men. And some of us get it, some don't. And some women try to challenge you when you operate in your masculine. And those women, at least with me, they get left behind. That's how you end up in the rearview mirror, for sure. But overall, how do you keep the fire in relationships? There must be sexual polarity. And that polarity, I believe, is the most effective when men are predominantly in their masculine and women are predominantly in their feminine essence. So just keep that in mind. Just something to think about. No right, no wrong. Perspective. Give that some thought as you ponder on could that be accurate? Is that inaccurate? Is he pulling shit out his ass? Is he blowing smoke? Or do I agree with him? I'm sure you'll figure it out. What have you noticed about your growth lately? My growth lately is recognizing how much control I don't have. And the power of no, the power of letting go. And allowing the universe, God and his universe, and allowing him to foresee how working towards your goals, what that's going to mean. And when you start working on your goals, there's something like about your peers, depending on the person, depending on how much insecurities they have, you working on goals can really irritate the demons inside them. And I say to that, keep fucking going. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to do. And I try to check my ego, the ego side of me, my inner child that almost is afraid to work even harder for fear of losing, having like attachments to people, and fear that working on me is going to make someone else feel like, you think you're better than me type shit. And that's not even the case. So focused on oneself. But the growth aspect is like I said, learning to let go, right? Letting go of attachment, letting go of trying to hold on to who you thought you were, hold on to who you thought a person was, holding on to the past, holding on to trauma, and learning to let that all go, realizing how much you're not in control. This year so far, battling like significant amount of back pain, right? And trying to do things as if you do not have that back pain has fucked with me mentally, for a little bit. I don't like limitations, man. Not on my abilities. I have too much creativity. I believe I have too much just downright effort, trying to go after seek things in life, goals that I want to obtain. And the gym is a very crucial part of that process for me, because it really does remove like any fog that's going on in the mind when I get to go to the gym and I get to release those endorphins and get that dopamine kick from being in the gym. So like truly, I was in the gym for almost 2 years straight without missing 4 days a week. And it felt great. It did. But of course, getting older, the wear and tear on the body comes. And then you do what you've been doing, and one day your body don't feel the same. Like, nigga, hold on. Like chill out. Stop trying to do shit like you're 16. And stubborn, determined, ambitious when it comes to working out. If it means challenging myself mentally, I'm going to go for it, right? But there comes a time where you gotta listen to your body, and the hard part is letting go that your body's not as young as you may believe it is. Your mindset must be adaptable, be formless, be like water. Bruce Lee, that is. Like, being able to adapt to situations, learning to understand the power of indifference about everything, and let it go, man. Like, holding on to stuff, trying to dictate what you think that person meant when they said this, when they did this, it really doesn't matter. The power of indifference is so helpful in living life in the present moment. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta keep moving. It's like being in a hit and run, and like somebody hits your car in the middle of traffic and speeds the fuck off. You're gonna hold on to that grudge until the next time you come across that car. Gotta let it go, right? I'm not saying you're gonna immediately let it go, because you gotta get insurance shit depending on how much the damage that you had. But understanding the power of indifference, man. And it can come off as if you don't have feelings, or stoic, if you will. But it's recognizing what's in your control, what's not in your control. The situation itself is commonly not as bad as our thoughts on it. And I try to manage my fucks that I give about things that happen in life every day. And it's challenging, very challenging. But over the years, I've learned how to practice it and be a lot more stoic, but at the same time able to educate myself on the emotions that I feel. As we talk about all the time in therapy, me and my therapist, observe but not absorb, and it's been helpful, man. So that growth is there. The growth of knowing that as you continue to work on different goals, that everybody's not going to be able to go with you. And that is it's a tough reality when you see who doesn't go. right? When you see who's not going to take part in the next phase of your life, and despite the history that you may have had with them, you know what I'm saying? And it's trusting that what you're working on is definitely going to have, it's going to pay off as far as what you're working on that you feel is bigger than yourself when you've been called upon, and that, I mean, it happened for everybody, but I trust God and His universe that what we're doing is going to is going to work out in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Just grateful, right? Grateful for for things being revealed. Grateful for strength. Grateful for the things I did to train my brain to manage these emotions and manage these situations that I would find myself in the last few years, and just working harder at seeing things as they are, not what I want them to be. That's another part of it. Seeing things as they are, not for what you want them to be. But so much, like I said, there's so much growth, man. Like I said, emotions, like being able to manage anger. I mean, I have to learn to process it, but I remember that anger is a choice response. So it's like, why would I want myself to be upset? I wouldn't. I love myself too much to allow myself to be upset. So I just find ways I'm either walking away or I have to be assertive without being loud. And I mean, especially at work. Work is one of those things, you never know who you're talking to, a pilot and whatnot, that is not having the best day. And then you have to hold boundaries with them so that you can respect yourself and respect them. And like I said, it gets challenging. Definitely gets challenging. But that's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. So I'm enjoying my growth. I look forward to what else is to come in the coming days, weeks, months, years of it. But I can honestly say that looking at myself a year ago, I'm in a better position than what I was a year ago mentally. And I believe that's what it's all about. I believe it's all about trying to be better than you were yesterday. So continue to learn, continue to be a student, continue to know that I know nothing, therefore I'm wise, like just being a student to everything and everyone around me. All my peers, they teach me how to love them. They teach me how to stay the fuck away from them. They teach me how to Dougie some of them. And but I am just like I said, just grateful for the opportunities that come up in life that shows you how strong that you become, as the previous versions of you will probably succumb to the manipulation, to the controlling ways of others, doing whatever to feel loved. And we don't have to do that shit no more. We're much powerful by ourselves, and you know what I'm saying? So being able to not be afraid to lose something as feeling like we're losing love. You know what I'm saying? But we're already loved, so we have it in abundance. But yeah, those lessons in life, amongst others. Grateful for the growth, and a year from now, should be having a different conversation in a positive way. Good night, kids.